I am T.R. Rush. Please allow me to introduce myself. First and foremost, it feels great to be back. And I want to say thank you to all of you who continue to support the show, continue to support the podcast. Now, if you're stopping by for the first time, first and foremost, thank you. But there's something that you need to know before we go any further. This movement is about you. This movement is about me. This movement is about us. This is the rush on life. Now, if you haven't done so already, take a moment to subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. Make sure you go and like and follow us on all of our social media platforms by visiting therushonlife.com. The Rush on Life. And while you're visiting the site, make sure you check out our sponsorship page. Click on the sponsorship tab and check out the incredible sponsors we have there and the products and services that they offer. There may be something for you, because I would not be able to do this show without your support and the support of our sponsors. Now that we've gotten the housekeeping out of the way, let's get right into it. I am T.R. Rush. Now, many of you watching and listening may have heard my name before, but few of you really know the man behind the initials. Now, I'm not going to come on here today and bore you with every single detail of my life thus far. But today is about sharing. Today is about pulling back the curtain a little bit. And if you don't mind, please allow me to reintroduce myself. You know, like many of you, my beginning started with a choice. Now, long before I had a name, long before I had any type of identifier attached to my being, I made a choice. Don't get me wrong, my biological parents and a higher power from above gave me a little assistance. But like all of you, like all of us, I made a choice. During that moment of conception, I chose to swim. I chose to fight. I chose to live, and so did you. My birth, like all of you, was and still is a miracle. Now, I'm not a scientist, and I do not play one on television. But I read somewhere that the odds of being born is at least 1 in 400 trillion. Let me say that again. 1 in 400 trillion. Your existence, my existence, is indeed a miracle. We are all here for a reason. You are here. I am here for a reason. It is a miracle. 1 in 400 trillion. Walk with me for a minute. Because when I think back on my life, my earliest visions take me back to the many different expressions I saw on my beloved mother's face. Oh yeah, I remember the smiles and the laughter, but I also remember the tears and the cries, the joy and the pain. I remember her taking care of me and my siblings. I remember her carefully navigating my father's unpredictable moods and finding a way to survive my father's abusive ways. Now, my time spent on the hill at 709 Hillview Drive wasn't all bad. We had a house, we had a yard. I had a mom and a dad who were together. But what I'm sharing with you today is no fairy tale. It's no make-believe movie. Because I will never forget the day my mother decided to break free from my daddy's shackles of domestic violence. And she made her escape from an environment that would have taken her life sooner than later if she hadn't decided to make a choice. If she had decided to stay 1 second longer, I would not be here right now, speeding away in that orange and black Chevy Nova. Only God knew what lied ahead. Now, over the next few years, we bounced around from place to place. We left my birth state of New Jersey and had a brief layover in the state of Virginia. But before you know it, we ended up back on the Jersey Shore. I witnessed the violence. I witnessed the disruptive force of crack cocaine and the epidemic that dismantled my once thriving neighborhood. Trapped in the heart of poverty, my mother didn't give up. She did not turn her back on us. Her unyielding faith in God kept me and my siblings alive. Now, my ups and downs growing up in the projects were extremely difficult at times. But without those tears, without those trials, without those tribulations, I would not have become the man I am today. I am T.R. Rush. I was a good athlete growing up, but there would be no football scholarship for me. I would not hear my name called during the NFL draft. But instead, not too long after my 18th birthday, I joined the United States Army to become a soldier. Being away from home for the very first time, I struggled. And I failed a number of times. I had a number of setbacks. My experience may be different or similar to a lot of you listening. But the one thing that remains the same, the one thing that remains true is this: no matter how hard it gets, don't give up. No matter how dark it may seem, the light is on the way. After my honorable discharge from the United States Army, I found myself in the Midwest, just trying to survive. But truth be told, I was lost and just wandering through my life, trying my best to figure it out. It took some time, but eventually I was able to get my life somewhat under control. I was working a full-time job and maintaining a full-time schedule as a college student at the Ohio State University. I was in a stable relationship. I was happy. My life wasn't perfect, but it was pretty damn good when I look back on it at that time. You know, my mom, who was everything to me, was so excited for me. And I couldn't wait to make her proud by graduating from college. And don't you know it? 7 months before I was scheduled to walk across that stage, my world came crashing down. You see, my cell phone rang, and on the other line was my baby sister. When she called the first time, I didn't pick up. But after I heard her message, I wasted little time and called her back. When she spoke, I could hear the pain and disbelief in her voice. She didn't waste much time and told me the truth, that our beloved mother had unexpectedly passed away. I didn't want to believe it. Yes, I went through the stages of grief. I don't talk about it much, but I'm being honest with you. I contemplated taking my own life. But I was a coward at heart. I didn't know how to do it. But I just ended up trying unsafe things. I did my best to hide the pain from others and those who were in my life at the time. But I was drinking every day, heavily, drinking and driving quite frequently. A part of me wished on some of those moments that I would just crash my car and it would all be over. I was a functioning alcoholic. My marriage was deteriorating. Yes, I provided financially for my children, for my family. But at that time, I was not right. I was not a good dad. To put it bluntly, I was not a good person. But there was one thing I have to admit that I was good at. I was great. I was excellent at being a liar. I rarely spoke the truth when I opened my mouth. And most of all, I kept lying to myself every day I looked inside my mirror of truth. One morning, I found myself lying on the floor of my living room. My clothes were soiled, and I could still taste the vomit that had spewed out of my mouth. And on that fateful moment, on that fateful morning, I should say, that's when I heard my mother's voice whisper quietly in my ear, "Son, make a choice. Live or die." I didn't know at the time, but on the day that my mother died, I was born again. Now, since that day, my life has not been perfect. But I've learned to accept the fact that all the tears, all the trials, and tribulations are necessary. I am T.R. Rush. I'm thankful I was given a second chance to find my purpose before it was too late. Many of you listening and watching today are going through some things. Many of you are struggling. Many of you may feel like giving up. But believe me when I tell you, if a rebirth, if a reintroduction could happen for me, it can happen for you. If I could get up from that floor of shame and turn my life around, then you can too. Your past has already happened. But don't allow it to continue to hold you back in the here and now. Be bold. Take that first step to taking control of your life. I do not share today because I want your sympathy, empathy, or pity. No, I do not share today because I expect you to care. I share today because I want you to know whatever it is you are going through, you are not alone. And it's not too late to make that positive change in your life. It won't be easy. You will have setbacks. You will fall down. You will have bumps and bruises. You will have long nights. But all that matters is that you make the choice to get back up and keep moving forward. You've heard me say it before. Forgive yourself, believe in yourself, and love yourself. It's not too late. I am T.R. Rush. This movement is about you. This movement is about me. This movement is about us. So as we part for now, go tell one. Who will tell another? Who will tell the world about the rush on life? I am T.R. Rush. And until next time we meet, peace and love. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like and follow us on all our social media platforms by visiting The Rush on Life. And make sure you check out our sponsorship page. There may be something there for you. Until next time, peace and love. I am T.R. Rush. Please allow me to introduce myself. First and foremost, it feels great to be back. And I want to say thank you to all of you who continue to support the show, continue to support the podcast. Now, if you're stopping by for the first time, first and foremost, thank you. But there's something that you need to know before we go any further. This movement is about you.